We're all curious about various subjects and topics of interest. Tune in and perhaps share your curiosity. Hi, you're listening to Curing Curiosity. I'm yours, Christopher, and it might be a bit different because you'll be seeing faces for once. I normally don't do this. I usually do audio only. So if I can get it to the point that you can see faces, this is what I look like. This is what my guest Christian looks like. He's already been on the podcast before, second time this season. I'll probably link the episode that he was in down in the description. If I forget to, don't worry about it. So anyways.
Damn, I forgot that I was in your podcast before. Jeez.
Halloween.
That's my bad.
It's alright. So how are you doing, Christian?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a bit tired, but I'm ready to talk, ready to have some fun.
Yeah, time zone differences because I'm in EST and you are in Britain time. I don't know the exact time zone number, but still.
It's still kind of early, 6:39.
Yeah, it's 5 hours ahead.
I was out volunteering today, so it was quite intense all day work. So it's like, yeah.
So if I can get to the point that you can see our faces, I've done a good job. If I haven't, still audio only, it'll be fine. I can work that out later. So the topic for this week's episode is how music defines us. And Christian, if you don't know, he's written songs. He's been playing guitar since you were 11, you had mentioned.
Yep. And
you make song covers on your YouTube channel, which, again, in the description. I'll remind that at the end. But so, just what does music mean to you? Let's start off with that.
Oh, wow. Going right deep for the deep questions. Right off the bat. Oh, God. What does music mean to me? I don't think there's like one definitive answer. So I'm going to try and answer this with several different answers. Music to me personally, it's, especially now I've gotten older as well, it's changed. Because when I was growing up, music was, I grew up on like rock and metal music. I was part of the alternative crowd. And, for me, it was a way of keeping going. I felt very like outcast from everyone else. I know it sounds all cliche, but I think most teenagers growing up, at least 10 years ago or whatever, like felt that way. These days it's a bit different. Everyone's kind of into everything. Yeah. But back then it was a bit more inclusive and stuff. Mm-hmm. So back then it was, I suppose my point being it was about identity for a long time. And then when I started becoming a musician and writing my own music, I then began to listen to like all different genres and sort of educating myself on it. So then I guess I became like I took it more seriously and took it like as something that you study and you learn from. And, inevitably you end up listening to all these different genres and decades of music and stuff. But I'd always been listening to different types of music from a very young age, because the same old thing of, you listen to what your parents listen to and then you get into like all sorts of stuff. But I've always had a very open mind to music. And as I've gotten older, like now I listen to literally everything, but it's more based on mood. So like, I don't really listen to like metal as much anymore. Like I really have to be in a very specific mood to do that. But, I'm very open-minded to music. I'll always try new things and whatever. So there's that element to it. But I suppose the biggest thing for me, like as in to fully answer the question of what it means to me, is like music is, I feel like it's a soundtrack, like, soundtrack to your life, exactly. And everyone, you can make the music. It's a thing that we do. We inevitably attach meaning to music, probably without even thinking about it a lot of the time. Something like I'm sure everyone here has like dated someone and attached a song to that point in their life, and now you can't listen to that song anymore. Like I know I've done it. Like
I don't think I have, so I'm good on that.
Yeah, give us some time. I mean, it's not just dating people, but like for instance, there's certain bands and songs that remind me of certain times. Like you know, when I was living abroad in Europe, there was music that I was listening to from that country, and you know, whenever I listen to it, that reminds me of that time, you know, and pulls me back. And then there's other times, you know, that I can't even explain. You know, sometimes I'll be listening to like a classical song, like some Chopin or something, and I'll just randomly start getting like really emotional because I feel like the music is sort of reaching me on a level that I don't really understand. So now I kind of feel like music is this like magical kind of thing that, you know, can really just change everything. It can uplift you, it can bring you down, it can, without sounding too cringy, it can move you, it can touch you, it can, you know, all of this stuff.
Like music has that power of just bringing you back and having like these crazy nostalgic trips.
Yeah.
And I actually love that sometimes. Because if I listen to a song that I haven't heard in a while since I was in elementary school, I'll listen to it on repeat multiple times, sing along with it, and just have a good time.
I've got this one playlist. It's indie experimental playlist, and it's just indie music, and then that I used to listen to when I was a teenager, and then a bunch of experimental stuff. And I swear to God, every time I put it on, from the very first song, I'm just brought back to like being 13, 14 years old again. I'm just like, how is this possible? How can it make me feel like exactly how I felt then? That's mad.
Honestly, just like I understand, like with like the whole genre stuff, like don't listen to like all that stuff that you do like when you did back then. I remember when I was younger, I don't think I listened to a lot of music. I think I find myself listening to more music than I do now than I was younger.
Yeah,
because I have like a lot more time, and like when I need to wind down, or like you said, with a certain mood, like I can be in like a really happy mood. So like I want like an uplifting song. It's like something like will make me feel good, or like I'll listen to some Queen, like Bohemian Rhapsody, and just like go all powerhouse and just.
Yeah, I'm the same. I'm exactly the same. But do you know what? I find myself, maybe I'm just like one of those like hopeless romantics that likes to punish themselves or something. Because sometimes like when I'm feeling like really depressed or something, sometimes I'll just actually go and listen to depressing music. And I'm like, I'm not that type of guy. I want to be happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I inevitably find myself listening to this again. I don't know. Maybe it's that kind of like, you know, like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this is, you know, I'm such a deep person. Like, oh God.
It's like every once in a while I'll listen to like these like ballads and like slow songs. Like not because I'm sad. Like sometimes I do it when I am sad and just like, this is how I'm feeling. This song gets me. But like also because they're just really nice songs to listen to. Like I find myself also listening to a lot of like love songs, like romance songs. Like just because I love that genre entirely.
Fair play.
It's just like it's so nice just like be able to like hear that at like a dance or like a prom or a wedding. It's the perfect like genre for that. Unless you're like at a wedding and you just blast like metal music, and like if that's
that
the case,
would be sick though.
Honestly, like
that's the thing about metal music, man. Like I grew up as a metalhead, and even though I don't really listen to it much anymore, like say for like the gym or very special occasions or whatever, if I go to like some event and someone puts on some metal, I'll be the first one to just jump into that pit and be like, yeah, hell yeah, like metal music, man, let's go. And
lock yourself some swearing. I heard it.
Oh, I struggled. I struggled.
Yeah, this is like imagine just going to like this formal event, like a funeral or a wedding, and just metal music comes on, and just like the first dance with like the bride and groom, just metal music, just like yeah, it's just like
yeah. I would love
this is sick.
It would be like I'd love it if you go to a funeral. Sorry, not a funeral. A wedding, and they put on like, you know, like some Cannibal Corpse, like hammer smash face.
It's like thank God, it's just like rocking. It's like hell yeah. It's massive. Holy crap, that would be epic though.
That would actually be, I'd be down for that.
Watch it, like, it probably, like, already happened at one point, because you never know.
Oh, dude, like, there's people that have, like, Star Trek-themed weddings. There's everything.
Yeah. Honestly.
We're a weird species.
Humans are weird. That's just what we learn. Yeah, but, like, getting back on the whole music thing, holy crap. Like, music has, like, has a lot of power over somebody. and things because he used like music therapy as well. I know my friend, she wants to go into music therapy, but she was unfortunately rejected from her program of choice.
Why?
Which absolutely sucks, and I honestly feel bad for her, and I've already mentioned this before. But she wants to like go into music therapy because she's been playing the piano since she was around 6 years old. And honestly, I honestly have a lot of respect for people who've played instruments since they were young, like absolutely like kindergarten young. And so sometimes I think of just like maybe I should have done that when I was younger, probably done something, and like by now I would actually be like I know how to play an instrument.
You
But
still can.
I don't. Yeah, you still can. I mean, I made an entire episode of like self-teaching and like when like it's never too late to learn something new.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm promoting my own podcast on my podcast. This is when it gets like meta. But still, but yeah. But still, it's never too late to learn something new. Like
Sorry, can we just back
Yeah.
up? What does meta mean? Because I'm
I'm gonna get my
getting-
phone real quick because that's on my bed.
No,
Look
sir.
that up. I don't know why I said meta.
I'm
I'll
getting
be
to this
honest.
point now where I'm pretty good with popular culture, and I've definitely heard meta because I'm very into like memes and stuff. But there's still words I hear, and I'm like, what does that mean?
Okay,
To me, meta
transcending.
transcending.
So meaning more comprehensive or transcending. Thank you, Wikipedia. That means a lot. Thank you. I don't know why I said meta. I don't know. I don't use like a lot of slang term for like
I
this
kind of thought
generation.
I
It's
thought
just-
it kind of meant like unnecessary. Like, oh, that's
Probably. I probably used it wrong. I don't use a lot of slang term for like this generation. I'm not that kind of person.
Oh yeah, no, I've got to the point now where I'm like, it's unacceptable for me to use the slang that the younger generation is using because I'm too old for that now.
Like it's lit. It's like why?
Yeah, I can't be. I'm sure I've said that. You know, occasional words will drop here and there, but like,
Yeah.
no, can't be saying
Yeah,
that.
it's just like for me, even I'm in this generation. I'm Gen Z,
Right?
but still, why?
Really? You don't like it?
I don't know. It's just not my style. Like
Fair enough.
I don't know why. It's just weird to say like, oh, it's lit, fam. It's just like use proper sentences and words.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny when someone says that and they never normally talk that way. So like, oh yes, I was going to this place with my friends, and you know it was really lit, fam. And you're like, no, shut up.
Like you went to this place with your friends and you had a really great time, and it was almost like it's lit, fam. It's like
Why?
It's like why? Yeah. So yeah, it's like stop. Like
Silence.
Like I'm the type of person like I'd say my vocabulary is like I have a wide range of vocabulary because I used to write a lot of poetry, like a lot of slam poems in my free time. I know I'd be in class just writing them. It's like slam poetry as well. It's just doesn't have to necessarily rhyme. Like you can just go one style flow, go with the flow in that case. So I feel like I have like a wide range of vocabulary, and each time I'm texting somebody and I use that vocabulary like big words, like for example, conglomeration, like an entire mass of something. I'm not getting. I've had them before say like, yeah, English, please. It's like that is English. Thank you.
I have the same problem because, like, generally speaking, I would say most of the complex terminology I use tends to be in letters. I do a lot of like freelance marketing, like as a day sort of job thing. So I tend to use a lot of complex words, right? But in day-to-day conversation, less so. But yeah, occasionally a word will slip out or something. But when I use it, I'm not meaning. I don't even think about the other person. I'm thinking about like it's quicker to say this than it is to explain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because sometimes you've got that word which just explains something that would take you a minute to explain. So it's like, well, why don't I just use this word?
Yeah, this is like, well, like when I'm trying to say like I have a bunch of stuff to do. So it's like I have this like, entire conglomeration of things I have to do. It's like it's easier to say those words instead of like, taking time to explain it.
What was that word I started using recently? Like amalgamate or amalgamation?
Amalgamation.
Yeah, that's the one. Amalgamation. Yeah. I started using that recently.
It's like you have this amalgamation of crap over here. It's like,
yeah.
This is like, but I also love it when my friends say it's just like, yeah, English, please, and I have to, I don't like saying like dumb it down because that sounds mean in a way. Just like try to like simplify it.
There's a scene, I was rewatching the first Avengers the other day, and there's a brilliant scene that explains this, where Tony Stark is like sort of shouting at Captain America, and he's like, in science talk, he's like saying like to basically go and pull this lever, and Captain America's like, English, please, and he's like, you can see Tony's face just kind of goes, and he's like thinking for a second, like, oh, how can I dumb this down? See that red lever over there? Pull that.
It's like English was like, oh, God damn it. It's like,
I felt so nerdy as well, because I remember the first time he said that, I knew what he meant, and I was like, oh, I'm such a nerd.
It's like when you like someone's like super like, if you ever watch like The Big Bang Theory, which is like all like theoretical physics and stuff like that, and they like explain something, like you get what they explain, then it's like dumbed down for other people. It's just like, but and
that's the thing. Like, I'm not even a big science guy. Like, I love science, but I'm not a big guy in terms of the terminology and particularly the maths. But I get it. I get the theories and you know that. And then so like, I get why, like, for instance, they get so excited about like string theory and stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But yeah, there's just so many points when they're explaining stuff to like Penny, and it's like, oh, come on, man. Even the average person knows this. And then
every once in a while you have her that's like, she knows something, but just because they looked it up on her phone or she was taught it. It's like,
right. Yeah. Well, at least she's learning though. That's
the thing, she is.
You know.
Oh, that was a good show.
I think if nothing else, that show teaches you that like it's not so much about, well, I don't know. The lesson I got from that, like with Penny's character, is that, you know, like she always had a keen mind, and that's what you should have as a scientist. Yeah. You know, it's not about like being super intelligent. It's more about like having a keen mind and being open to concepts and open to learning.
Yeah.
And by the end, she knows quite a bit. So it's,
I mean, it's always important to be open to learning something new and just new experiences in general in life. This can be controversial depending on who I'm saying this is. You only have one life, like YOLO, and that's using more terminology that I don't use anyways, but still. Exactly. Because in very basic terms, we all only have one life. Like, we all have a clock slowly ticking down to zero. It's going to one day hit zero and just done.
We all eventually die. We live, and then life is an inevitable march towards death. And that's the end of the show.
Thank you. Anyway, thank you for listening to me. Okay. But it's like always trying to like never take life for granted. And I'm pretty sure at one point I have. I'm guessing I have in my life. I'm pretty sure all of us have at one point taking it for granted. It's like, oh, but I can do this later on in life. So like, you don't know that.
Yeah,
nobody really knows anything.
I agree. Yeah, if you got an opportunity to do something now, do it now.
Do it now. Yeah.
I've had so many friends over the years that have unfortunately passed away young, taken their lives, all of that stuff. And all of them were brilliant people, you know, like good people, would have done loads of stuff with their life, you know. So yeah, I say take advantage of every day and make it count as much as you can, you know. And I know that's an annoying thing to hear. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you can't live every day like it's amazing. But you can look at every opportunity that's presented to you and say, do you know what, I will go for it. Because here's a really good example, yeah? I know it's a bit weird because of COVID, but let's just imagine COVID's not a thing for a second, right? Everyone's had that thing where, you know, you get a choice between, hey, I go out with these people, don't really know, maybe it's awkward, I don't know, or I can just go home and do the same thing I do every night. But you never know, like, who you're going to meet, the experience you're going to have, what's going to happen, like, everything. Like, you could meet, like, the love of your life there, you could meet someone who's going to change the way you think, like, there's so many possibilities. But if you just go home, if you go home and do nothing, then you miss out, potentially. Yeah.
It's like, and you might be comfortable doing like, but this is the same thing I do every night. I'm comfortable with it. Like, you don't want to go outside your comfort zone, but at one point you have to. And I've done that before because I remember when I was in high school, we had this opportunity to go in something called leadership camp, where it's all it's like schools in our school district, like the EMSB, the English Montreal School Board. We'll just go to this camp, like some students from that. We'll go to this camp and all meet each other and like bond and do like leadership work and just have a good time over the next 3 days, 2 nights. And the first time I went, honestly, that was amazing. That's like one of my real first times like going outside of my bubble and meeting new people.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of cool people. Some I still keep in touch with. I don't keep in touch with all of them, I'll admit, because that's a lot of people. I've gone for, what, 3 years in a row?
Oh, cool.
And then
Cool.
COVID hit and it got cancelled, unfortunately. Because I remember I was like sitting up, like it was the night that it was supposed to happen, like this year. And just think about it, so it's like, it's not happening. All the delegates and animators and organizers that are just have worked towards this point, it's just gone. And it sucks, because you put so much work into something, and this can go for like a lot of people during COVID. You have all these events and all these plans that you want to do, like summer vacation. I know my high school graduations and proms, just gone and stopped and canceled because of this pandemic.
Yeah. I feel really bad for people that lost out on their graduations and stuff like that. That sucks. Hopefully, like something will be arranged later on.
Well,
Maybe.
how it went with my school, my school did like a garden party type thing where
That's
like
cool.
I mean it was supposed to happen like at the end of the year anyways, but it's like usually how it works is like all the graduating level. I was gonna say, I'm using my terminology how I say it in here. It's all the secondary 5 students, like all grade 11 students, go into the gymnasium like all formally dressed up, like have a nice brunch
Cool.
and stuff. But this year how it worked, we had to fill something out online and schedule when to go into school. And so I went to like one of the first times. It was early in the morning. I went with my friends, no mask on, whatever, talked, and all the teachers and staff are just outside greeting us, and inside they're all clapping for us. I remember because I was one of the first 2 people to walk in that day with my friend Daniel. So
Just like,
and legit, honestly, it's like the most overwhelming and like great sensation. Just like have all of them rounding up like a round of applause. Just, like,
in your head, you're just dun 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 dun.
we are the champions. It's like, honestly, that was actually one of my favorite days, like of 2020 so far. I'll be honest.
Cool, man.
And then
That
like we
sounds
got
dope.
like goodie bags. We got not really. I have it right here actually. If I can show it, we got like this little diploma type thing. It wasn't our official diploma, but they gave it to us just like here's a little something, and it came in like a package like this. My name's at the top, but it's very hard to see in the camera. But yeah, and if I open it up, we got something like that.
What is it? Is it a certificate or something?
It's basically like a diploma, but not a real diploma.
Wow, they put a lot of effort into making a
Legit, but it's like
fake diploma.
it's basically it's a certificate. That's what it is.
We do
Yes.
this thing. I don't know if other countries do this, but I remember when I got my degree, like I'd already got the degree, like the physical certificate beforehand. But when I actually went to the ceremony, the graduation ceremony, the principal just gives you like a piece of paper, like that looks like it's the actual thing, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's a piece of paper, and it's got like a bow on it. And you take it and you walk
Yeah.
by and, you do your pictures and it's all great and everything. And then you actually open it up and it just basically has like a welcome, like, oh, well done, blah, blah, blah. Here's a poem,
Yeah.
Like,
Like here's this piece of paper
Good
with
luck.
a poem on it. It's like, yeah,
good luck.
I mean,
See ya. We got your money.
honestly, like I don't think we're actually. I think our graduation may have been cancelled. I know our prom has been cancelled because let's be honest, I'm actually kind of happy that our prom was cancelled because how the hell are we going to do prom during COVID?
I never went to prom at high school and I'm
Aw.
still glad I didn't go. It sounds awful.
I mean, originally I had planned not to go, but then my friends made me just like, "Oh, you're not going to prom? Go to prom." It's like, Jesus, fine, I'll go. Like,
That's
I'll get
cool
it.
that your friends give a shit though. Sorry. That's good.
It's good that my friends care about me and want me there. It's like, yeah, nice. It's like
No
also what-
one cared that I went to that I didn't go to prom. No one slightest. Like people asked like out of interest, but no one cared. And neither did I.
what the hell is wrong with you people? You have a person right here that's an amazing.
That's fine.
person.
I hated everyone back then, so I just took it as a feather in my bow. Like, yeah, screw
just like
you all.
yeah. Anyways, what else they gave us during this like little makeshift garden party? We got cookies, and I have yet to open this up and eat it because I'm saving it.
What for? Rainy day.
Nothing. I'm just saving it. I'm not going to eat it. Memories.
Oh, just forever.
Yeah, it's been like that since I think June or July. Since then, so it's been like a few months, and I have to back up for this.
You're gonna put it in formaldehyde and put it in.
I have to back up for this because it's a kind of big thing. So for all the graduates of that year, got a little custom sign.
Oh snap! There you go.
So it's like congratulations to our graduate, and it's like my name, my grad picture, and we got to take this home as well. It's like before entering, we were told grab your sign, and it's just like, oh shit, we have to grab this and bring it in with us.
Oh no! Oh, yeah. That's awful.
Hey, we carried it home, and I'm talking to my friend Patrick.
It's like, it's almost like holding a sign up saying that says "I am amazing" and going,
like, look at me,
go me, yeah.
Like I was talking to my friend Patrick like at the end before I left, and he said like I have to take this on the bus with me. It's like so. Take on the bus with you. You're graduated. It's like yeah, but I don't want to. It's like okay.
I'd be embarrassed by that.
Wait, I don't know. I went home by car, so I got a lift home, so I didn't know. Anyways, going on to like you had mentioned the Avengers, so let's talk about like the scores and the music in movies as well.
Cool. All right.
Have a big impact on those.
Absolutely.
Like they can, I'd say it can make or break a movie. The score. I don't know about break. It can make a movie even better.
Do you know that's a good thing? Good point. I don't think I've ever heard a movie with like a bad score before, like where the music doesn't fit or something. It's always been. I mean,
it might not be as impressive as other movies, but it's still good.
Yeah, because the music is either epic or it's just kind of there setting the scene, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Like Friday the 13th, like that, like creepy, like ish music and like the sound effect.
I think the standard, if you like, is like Star Wars. Like you know, the score for Star Wars is so epic and like creates the right level of anticipation. Like you know, every time Darth Vader's on the screen, it's Imperial March, and it's like you feel they feel the like evil and the epicness of the situation,
and like builds up like in Tesla, and you just get like more excited as you go on. And I'll admit something, I've never watched an entire Star Wars movie. Or Star Trek. I think I've watched more Star Trek than I have Star Wars. But that's because my parents like watching Star Trek.
If nothing else, you should watch Star Wars because of the incredible music.
Yeah. It's like I'm not into like that whole sci-fi thing, like, but the music. It's like
I think the guy, I think his name is John Williams, I could be wrong. But
John Williams is amazing and epic.
Yeah, I think he's composed like so many classic movies, like especially like 90s, early 2000s movies. Like I can't think of lots of Spielberg movies for sure.
Yeah,
and they always tend to just be perfect for that situations and stuff, and really like fit the movies and like for instance, I think he did like Jurassic Park, and that. I mean, you know, with a movie like that, you don't think that you're going to remember the music. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you do. Like, it's such an iconic theme.
Well, it has some sort of impact on it. You might not like, oh, what do you think of Star Wars? Like, the music is epic. Like, you might go there and, like, go first, but it's like the actors and how the story is portrayed.
Yeah,
one of the first things. Then you might add on music. But yeah, I did look up John Williams and movies. Yeah, he did Jurassic Park 3. That's just one. Did Harry Potter as well. Ooh. Yeah. Yep, he did Jurassic Park. Yep. Home Alone 2. You did Home Alone 2.
Nice.
That's cool. Oh, and Indiana Jones. That's nice.
That makes sense.
Yeah, John Williams is epic. He's a great composer.
Absolutely.
Epic. It's like, okay.
Le epic.
Le epic. Le epic. Yeah. I think if you want to say le epic, I don't think you actually. That's not even like French grammatically correct.
No, but how French? It's because I'm old and like everyone used to say that in like the early 2000s internet. Everyone was like le epic.
If you want to be like even like take it up and not do L apostrophe then epic, because you can't have two vowels next to each other unless it's an apostrophe. So it's like lepic. Just
lepic.
Lepic.
Lepic. You made a new word.
Honestly, actually, that was actually an assignment for mine for my anthropology course.
To create a word.
But no, it's like it was word weaving. So create a new word or metaphor, catchphrase, and try to get it spreading. And so I created the word Tetris cashier because that's a nickname I gave myself while I was working.
Texas cashier.
No, Tetris, not Texas.
Tetris cashier.
Yes. I posted it on Urban Dictionary. So if you go on urbandictionary.com and type Tetris cashier, and I have posted it.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, so basically it's just a way for me just like, why not give myself a name?
I'll just say, by the way, the people that post on Urban Dictionary, thank you so much, because I've learned the meanings behind so many slang words because of Urban Dictionary. Like, it's actually a useful resource, despite all of the crap on there. Like, it's actually
I mean, you're gonna find some really weird words and phrases, but you get some really great like slang terms out of it. It's just like how Urban Dictionary like describes NASCAR. It's just like turning in a car for like 4 hours, turning left in a car for like 4 hours. Just like that's how they describe NASCAR. Yeah.
I don't understand how people can, like, I don't mean to be mean, but like NASCAR, Formula One, horse racing, all of this stuff, I don't get it. Like, we in England, I don't know if we still do it, but when I was growing up, I remember distinctly we had 5 channels. Like, this is how old I am. 5 channels on a regular TV, and I can't remember which one it was. I think maybe BBC Two or something, but like on a Sunday there was nothing on, you know, after the cartoons end you got nothing to do, so it's like boring sports, you know, cricket, whatever. And then on channel 2 would be Formula One for like 3 hours, and a couple of times I would just sit there and just out of intrigue, like why is this on, why do people watch this? And it was like so boring. Boring.
I understand like some people get like excited about it and it's like, oh, it's cool. Oh, your camera.
Oh, you've lost me. You've lost me. Don't worry, I'll come back.
All right. Stuff will be fixed. Don't worry. But yeah, I mean, I know some people get like excited about NASCAR and like Formula One. It's just, to me, it's just like, hey, he's back. Like, just to me, it's like you're just turning left. It's turning left simulator, and it lasts 4 hours. That's the entire game. Like, if somebody made a game called Turning Left Simulator, and the entire game was just 4 hours long, that's the entirety of NASCAR.
But based on the way the world is right now, I bet you any money that game would do really well.
Let's see if that's an actual game.
There's people that play Farming Simulator.
Yeah.
You can work on a farm, for real. Why would you buy a game where you can simulate farming when you could just go work on a farm?
Turning Left Simulator. Is that a thing?
I mean, I get the Sims, but it is. It's got to be a thing.
Oh god, I think it is a thing. Anyways, I'll look more into that afterwards, because if that's an actual game, somebody took the time and said like, you could only turn left. That's all you can do. Like, such a boring game that would be.
It depends, man. People are weird. Yeah. People are into anything these days.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So right now I'm gonna ask you a few questions that I'm gonna think of right on the spot. So right now, because basically, you know, different like music can change. Like, oh, like you might like this song now, this song, and then next time. So right now, what is your favorite song to listen to?
There's this song by a band I discovered recently. So the song is called Here I Dreamt I Was an Architect by the Decemberists. I discovered it because I was rewatching the TV show How I Met Your Mother. Mm-hmm. And the song was randomly playing in the background of one of the scenes. And just on a side note, that show has a fantastic soundtrack. Discovered so many good bands from that. Also, there's like classic music in there, like Radiohead and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, this particular band, I was like, oh, let's go check this out. Because for some reason, that particular song is just so addictive. And turns out they're an amazing band. One of my new favorite bands. I listen to them all the time. But that particular song, I've listened to it like 50 times in the past couple of months, and I never get bored of it. I don't know. It's just a really good song.
So yeah, there are like some songs just like, it's good, and you just never get tired of it, and like, and always like cheer you up and make you smile.
That's weird.
I'd say right now, actually, the song I've been listening to the most often, "How to Be a Heartbreaker," like Mariana and the Diamonds. It's just, for some reason, I was at work one day, and that song just pops into my head, and it was the Glee version of that song, because at the beginning of the pandemic, for the first 2 weeks, I had watched all 6 seasons of Glee with my mom.
Wow.
And that song came on. It's just like, I'm thinking of this, like, It's like I just go home, listen to it, and just like this is a nice song. But yeah, like sometimes you can just like find the random songs just pop into your head every once in a while. It's just like that's a good song. Why should I listen to it more often? It's just like it's weird.
I tend to. I mean, I've always had like playlists. Like when I was growing up, I would have. I grew up with everything. Walkmans. You won't know what that is. Basically, a CD.
I do know what Walkmans are.
You know what a okay, so
it's basically like a really old version of an MP3 player.
It's a CD player.
Yeah,
portable
basically.
CD player.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing I had, and then very shortly after, we started getting MP3 players and stuff, and then eventually I got a iPod Classic, and I used that for many years, and then it got to the point where like phones, Spotify was free, there's no point having an iPod anymore. So now I've just got like I would always listen to stuff on shuffle. So I'd listen to everything, like, metal, pop, rock, classical, whatever. But because I'm now into that moods thing that I told you about before, I have to have in playlists because I can't just, go from like metal to like, I don't know,
classical.
Yeah, it really just kills your vibes.
Yeah, it's just like, hell yeah, this is fun. It's like, this is,
Yes, I've gone from like headbanging religiously to relaxing to some really, really relaxing Tchaikovsky. I don't know.
Jazz, just all of a sudden starts to play. It's just like, hell yeah.
Eric Satie, that's the guy I wanted to say. Eric Satie, yeah. That guy's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, you can just like, I have playlists on Spotify. I don't use them as much because it's like when I think of a song, it's like I'm just gonna listen to it. Why not? I don't know. Like a while back, I think a week ago, and I still do it sometimes. I've listened to like "Fly Me to the Moon" by Frank Sinatra like multiple times. And it's like I think my favorite song from him because also kind of one of the only songs I know. I know "My Way." I just don't know the lyrics to it. It's just like fly me to the
end is near. It's funny. I know because Frank Sinatra famously hated singing that song. He like it was the one song that he just detested, and I can see why. It's such a it's supposed to be an uplifting song, but it's like soul destroying. Now the end is near, and so I face the final. Do you know what I mean? Like,
he gets tired of it, but it's like it's a good song when you like break down. But it's just like
it's the same reason that Nirvana never like hated playing "Smells Like Teen Spirit." Like when a song gets overplayed, like you just don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Sometimes it's like you never get tired of a song, but just because you don't get tired of it doesn't mean that they get tired of it.
That's true. No, absolutely. But it's just funny to me when the artist hates the song. That to me is funny.
It's like they wrote a song. It's like platinum charts. It's just like I don't like singing the song.
I think the worry is though, isn't it? Is that like everyone just comes for that one song? Because whereas like bands like Nirvana or Frank Sinatra had so many classics, there are some bands who only have like that one song. Like, like do you remember? I don't know if you know them. There was a band called Fountains of Wayne who did a song called Stacy's Mom.
Stacy's Mom
has got it going on. You must have heard that at some point.
At one point, probably, but
probably, okay. Well, anyway, that song was like played like crazy in the mid to late 2000s, right? And it was one of those songs where they were a one-hit wonder band, basically. So after that, I mean, I'm sure they still probably even make music to this day, but they just it happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can have that like one song that just blows up overnight and it's just like dead. That's it. That's on.
Do you know what I would do if I was in that situation where I had a one-hit wonder and the band didn't make any good records after? I would cut off at a certain point and then just do a different band.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, just no. There's nothing sadder than continuing with something when like no one's interested. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. You should always do what you love in life. But like, if you're a musician, you're trying to make a living out of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
And if it's not working, I mean, I suppose it depends, doesn't it? Because if you're getting gigs and people are buying your records, then it is working. So I suppose it depends on. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm mixed about that one.
I mean, still. So
Yeah, because I mean, and also to
yeah,
be fair, you get like a lot of royalties off that song as well, so it's not like a bad thing, you know.
yeah. Like then you get like into like the topic of like royalty free music, like ones you can just like put over like videos,
Mm,
just don't get like copyrighted. And I love royalty free music. You can find a wide variety of just like different genres and like tones and moods. And I use
depends
royalty
really.
free music for my podcast, and it works well. So
I think it depends. There's a lot of music. Yeah, there's some good stuff out there, and then there's a lot of it has that sound. It's
yeah,
like you know it's royalty free, and it's like
yeah. If you listen to my intro and outro, it is definitely, you can tell it's royalty free music, but still, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you need like music for a podcast, go find some royalty free music. There's a bunch of shit out there.
I just make my own. Do you know what I mean? Screw it.
Yeah, at one point, if I decide like I'm just gonna make it myself, I feel like that is going to take longer. But at one point, when you get it down right, and it's like it's good, leave it at that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So, another question: how about your all-time favorite song? Like that. You know, it's your favorite, just like not at the moment. Do you have one at least?
I can't. Whenever people ask me, like, who's your favorite band? Who's your favorite
This.
artist? Song? Like, it's impossible to choose. There's so many.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it changes according to which way the wind blows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say some of the bands that I listen to the most are there's this Estonian band called Miljardid, who I listen to quite a lot. I listen to a lot of Estonian music because I lived there. Big on City and Colour, Mac DeMarco. Like so many like classic musicians like the Doors or Hendrix or something, you know, Johnny Cash. You know, there's
Yeah.
so many. It really depends like what mood I'm in. Like I love the Smiths. I love like alternative music. Like I'm really into that. I'm really into like 80s, 90s kind of alternative music. I suppose
Yeah.
that's like my favorite right now. But again, it changes. Like I'm sure in 5-10 years I'll be just listening to something completely different. So
Yeah.
who knows? Who
It's
knows?
like I understand you. So it's like when somebody asks me, it's like, oh, what music do you like to listen to? It's like I'll give them like a few genres that I usually listen to, but
Yeah.
in all reality, it's just like kind of changes. Right now, I've been listening to a lot of K-pop.
It was
K-pop is
like
extremely catchy.
I was on a podcast recently. I won't name, but like they asked me this same question, and I was like, I don't know. And they're like, yeah, of course you know. And then one of them sort of follows up with like, what's the sort of song that you listen to when you just, you know, you just you're like, oh god damn it, you know, you just want to like break stuff. And I'm like, well, in that scenario, I'd probably listen to like a metal song, but like I don't really listen to metal anymore. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
weird for me to even, and like they were like, okay, well, what do you wind down to? And I'm like, well, it depends. You know,
Yeah.
so hard
Like
to answer.
honestly, everything like just comes down to it depends.
Yeah,
Like, how am I feeling? What's happening from my day? What's happening now?
I always
Like,
just say if people are interested, just follow me on Spotify. That's the easiest way. Then you can just see what I listen to. You know, or there's a really good website. I don't know if people still use it, but it's called Last FM, and it basically you can connect like your Apple Music or Spotify to it, and it will update it with all the music that you listen to. So it's basically like telling people like this is what this person listens to the most. So it's a great way to find
yeah.
out like what someone listens to, and a good way if you want to buy them like music to do that, or if you
Yeah, I
just want to,
mean,
I don't know, figure out what they're into.
that is smart. Because I'd say I listen to a wide range of genres. Like, I cannot really choose a specific genre that like I like the most. I like them all equally. Like,
Yeah,
I have like classic, yeah, pop, especially reggaeton, like the Spanish music. Love listening to that because I can sing in Spanish, so that's good.
cool.
And then you have K-pop, which
I love Spanish music. Like I was listening
yeah,
to some Santana the other day. I just love the way it sounds. Like ah, da, da, corazón esperado. Like how can you not love that? It's so like
like then you have like those like kind of poppy reggaeton music, like songs. It's like yeah, you can like chill to that. It's like reggae type.
yeah,
It's
reggae music is good.
yeah,
It's good.
like I listened to a song recently. It's like it's Calma, and I don't remember their names. Hold on. Let me look that up right now because I can do that.
Nice.
Why not? Calma. Yeah. So Calma. So basically, by a guy named Pedro Capo. Just kind of like starts off like this like slow, it's like okay, kind of like getting into it. Then it goes into like reggae type vibes,
Okay.
and you can get into like point that it's catchy to sing along to because if I can choose a song that I've never listened to, like a Spanish song, if I like the way it sounds, I'll listen to it more and try to learn how to sing to it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll like it, but like I'll just never learn how to sing to it because sometimes it's like too fast. And when it gets to the point like the rap parts, it's getting a bit iffy.
That's the funny thing, isn't it, as well? Because like there are so many songs that are like I think of like La Bamba, like how huge that song became, and it's a Spanish song, right? But it became huge internationally. So it's like it is possible for like non-English speaking countries to just get really successful with a song, and I think that's awesome. Like I think it shouldn't ever really matter what the language of the song is. It's more about like because at the end of the day, music at its core is just sound, isn't it? And if you like the vibration of it, then it's I suppose a good song, so to speak. You know, if most people agree, like yes, we all agree this is a good song. We all like this. This is a good song. Yes.
Then you have that one person. I don't like this. Like what?
Yeah, and they are a music critic.
Yeah, it's like nah. Like I don't like the bass drum. It's like you say what? And yeah, like people who are just like really obsessed with like a group or like a song that like they'll defend it. As much as they can,
do you know what I don't like? I don't like it when people turn around to you, like not just with music, but anything in life, and they say, "Oh, like how can you like that? It's so terrible." And you're like, "Well, it's subjective, though, isn't it?" Like for instance, someone dropped a message on because I post sometimes on Reddit, right? And so I post like my original songs on there, and someone said like, "Hey, yeah, I've been listening to your music a lot lately," and they were trying to give me like constructive criticism, but their criticism was kind of redundant, and I'll explain why. They basically just laid out like, hey, I've noticed that a lot of your songs have very similar chord progressions and it's really boring that they all sound the same. And I'm like, well, they don't all sound the same. They do have similar chord progressions, I'll admit that, but like not all of them do. Sometimes I use like chords that are like not usual chords, or like an Asus, or like a, I don't know, C with a D. Do you know what I mean? Like extensions of chords and stuff, like not just the standard ones, but sometimes I do just use the standard chords, right? And like slide the capo up in different places. Like for me, it's more about the sound. Like I don't care if a song is easy or complex. I care about like, how does it sound? Is it catchy? Is it not? Do I like it? Right? And he's explaining all of that. Plus, yeah, you know, and you should have things like intros, pre-chorus, chorus, and he's just saying like, you know, like how to write a conventional song. And I know so many musicians that don't write in that way because there are no rules with music. Like you can do it any way you want. Like, and there are some bands that have based their entire, like Status Quo, for example, based their entire career on just 3-chord songs, and look how huge they became. You know, like there are no rules with music. So all the creators out there, just musicians out there, if you're making music, do whatever the hell you want. Like as long as it sounds good and you like it, who cares what people think?
Yeah, exactly. Like I've listened to some like really like weird songs, like just like this is interesting, but they also make them unique in that way.
Yeah,
it's like Eiffel 56, I think, or 65. I don't know what it was, but like that, like I'm blue dabba dee with that song. So it's like that's unique. You can all like.
I was blown away by, because obviously when I started writing music, I just assumed that all songs were written, you know, intro, you know, was it bridge, chorus, verse 2, you know, like that's how I thought songs were written. And then when someone started giving me music like, hey, here's progressive rock and progressive metal, you know, here's different time signatures, here's a song that doesn't have any verses, it's just one long, do you know what I mean? Like, and it blew my mind that there was so many different ways you could approach it, and none of them are right or wrong. It's just how it's done, how different bands interpret music and stuff. And like sometimes, you know, a song, it won't even have any lyrics, or it will just be a mixture of different stuff with no apparent sort of consistent thread or whatever. But like, I just think that it really doesn't matter. Like, how you put it together. Like, as long as it just is something to vibe to and people like it and you like it, like, I think it's okay, really. I mean, I guess I'm repeating myself a little bit here, but it's, I don't know. It's just, it's interesting to me. And, you know, I think it's good to stray away from the norm as well. And like, even if you are doing stuff which is repetitive or the same, like, you know, there's so many bands that do that and do it well. I mean, there's that famous thing of the 4 chord song, isn't there? I'm sure you've probably seen that. And it's like, it's basically that every pop song for the last 30, 40 years has the same 4 chords. And if you sing the rhythm, you can sing the lyrics over it and it will work, right? But like, that kind of shows you everything you need to know. It doesn't matter like what chords you're using. It's more about the melodies and just kind of focusing on what the song is trying to achieve. You know, like when I'm writing a song, I don't really think about, does it have enough verses? Should it have a chorus? You know, I'm just thinking like, do I feel like this is done, or do I feel like there's more? Like, you know, what do I feel? Like, that's what I rely on, at least.
Yeah. I mean, then you're like, if you go into like Queen, which is like classic, like, and you hear Bohemian Rhapsody, that song changes genre and key changes, and just goes from like ballad type to opera to rock.
It's kind of the perfect song to illustrate what we've just been talking about. Like, if you ever want a song to tell you that there are no limits to music, it's Bohemian.
Think of Bohemian Rhapsody. You have that nice ballad part, then it goes to the operatic, then rock. And it's like,
I think it's the perfect as well. Like that build is the perfect way to kind of how a song should be built up. Like, I feel like some of the best rock songs often start slow into like heavy. You know, it's like Oh, I can't make that joke. Actually, that's a bit too. Okay, never mind. I was going to make an adult joke, but let's leave that. Basically, point is, you don't kind of go. You know, you build to the end. You build slowly, and then you get to the end, and then it's hurrah, big celebration.
Yeah, it's like, hell yeah, this is nice. Honestly, like, just songs in general and music in general is amazing to just appreciate, even if it's just like you have this like small artist just trying to start out and making original content and original songs. You, for example, you can one day just have it for what you have, and people will appreciate it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have like a million like followers and just like listeners, just like, oh, this is good. Even if you have like a few, and that support you and appreciate you on your journey, that's well enough.
I love that. Yeah, I love that there are actually like people commenting now on my songs and being like, hey, I really like this. And I'm like, wow, like that's cool. Because I just do it because I love it. You know, obviously I want to do this for a living, but like first and foremost, I do it just because I love music and I love to create. And, you know, if I feel like I have an idea, I get excited and I'm like, I want to put this out there and, you know, just float the idea. And, you know, it's fun. It should always be fun. Like, you should never do anything in life if it's not fun.
Yeah, I mean, just do what you like to do. That's like really what life is. Just finding out what is right for you and then doing it because you like it. Like, I do a podcast because I like it. It's fun. It keeps me busy. I sing and I rap, not professionally though, because I've never had like professional training.
Oh, you don't need
I do it because
training.
You don't need to.
That's a fallacy, my friend.
Yeah. Like,
I never had professional training. Like, I was self-taught, and you know, I had like a few lessons when I was much older. But even from that, I just discovered I'm better off teaching myself. And I think the whole professional thing is just the way I look at it is, if you've put some music out there that you've produced, I'd say that's professional.
Yeah,
you know, if you've got a few gigs, if you produced a record, then you're professional.
Yeah, I feel like you can teach yourself more by like just like being self-taught than having like actual lessons, because that's why I enjoy teaching myself a bunch of stuff, because I feel like I can learn more by doing it.
Lessons can help you give structure. Sometimes, you know, for some people, I think I wouldn't completely rule it out. Like, for example, in my first band, I remember it was a metal band, right? And I was the rhythm guitarist and lead singer, and my lead guitarist was, from what I remember, he learned by lessons, and he was a great lead guitarist. But I remember having to kind of teach him rhythm chords and stuff and help him with that, because you know, he kind of lacked like natural timing, and that was something that I just had, right? Because I always felt like it took me about 6 to 8 months to fully learn how to play guitar, but after that it came quite naturally, and ever since then I've just had that kind of natural inclination towards it. But not every player has the same natural timing and stuff. It depends. And I always felt like with the lessons, it's quite rigid. I feel like you can learn a lot from it, but like you can't teach someone how to have soul or rhythm. That's something that like you got to feel the music. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know how that sounds. It sounds a bit lame and silly, but it's true. It's like, it's very easy to just learn the chords and play the song, but that's not the same as playing a song with like soul and rhythm. It's a very different thing. Yeah. And I think that, that was something I remember when we were working together, that we had to kind of teach each other, because like I learned from his technicality and he learned from the rhythm of and soul of what I was doing, and that's why it worked.
Yeah, like you need to be able to feel what you're playing to understand it in a way. Like what you said, you can't teach anybody soul. You need to put soul into it. Just something you gain naturally, and that's just from your own experiences. I
think being open-minded, being as open as you can, really helps. You know, I think everyone has soul in them, because to me, it's a sort of thing of like, you know, if you take like the blues, the style of music, the blues is straightforward. It's basic chords, scales, and then someone just singing about how crappy their day was, or like someone who left them or something like that. And everyone, I'm sorry, I don't care who you are, everyone has something they can say, like, hey, I had a bad day. Hey, I had a bad time. I had a rough patch. You can find something to relate to in those songs. It's just like, yeah, I feel it's just like, even if it's not exactly how it is, you can just like relate to it. You can like feel their pain and stuff. So that's true. That's true. Actually, that's a good point as well. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we should start wrapping it up, because I have no idea where this conversation is going to go from here. It's gone a million different directions, but that's the podcast. You can start off with a set topic, and just it can fluctuate beyond compare. Just like talking about music. Oh, let's talk about Star Wars, and then you build off from there. For example, as we did. So, thank you guys for listening. I appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to Christian for once again being here and appearing on season 1.
Thanks for having me.
Look, Christian, I'm going to give you some time. Promote your channel and your podcast and what you do.
Cool. So I have a podcast. It's called the Christian Reeve Podcast. It's available on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. The easiest way to find out where it's based is to just go to my website, www.christianreeve.com. In terms of everything else that I do, I'm a content creator. So I have a YouTube channel, 2 YouTube channels, in fact. My standard channel, which is Christian Reeve, and my second channel, which is Christian Reeve Gaming. I won't explain the latter, because you know what that is. But the main channel has a mixture of stuff. It has vlogs, urbex videos, music. I'm a big musician. I'm always writing and doing covers and stuff, so there's always something a bit different. Basically, I'm a variety channel. And so there'll always be something a little different down there. But yeah, check me out. I do Instagram exclusive content. If you just search my name on Google, you can find me everywhere.
If you just Google me, you'll find some stuff. It's like,
for real, I've worked very hard on the SEO and marketing, so right up there.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, with like think about variety channels, probably one of my favorite channels, because you get, I said, it's a wide variety of stuff. You get vlogs, you get gaming, you get like music, podcasts. Honestly, one of the best types of channels you can have is a variety channel. Like they also have.
Depends. Yeah. There's some people that say that it's better to focus on a niche, focus on certain things. The main reason I do variety is just because I like a lot of things.
Yeah. So, like, if you can't decide what to do, just do all of them.
Yeah, like, basically.
I don't know. Should I just post song covers? Should I play games? Like, mash them together, just done.
Pretty much, yeah.
So anyway, that's all for this week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Tune in next week. Perhaps curiosity, and always stay curious. Bye, guys.